Hello and welcome to Thrive, Optima Living's Mental Resilience podcast. I'm Simran Sandhu from the HR team at Optima Living, and I will be your host for this entire series. I'm so excited and proud to present to you Thrive, that was created with one simple but meaningful goal, that is to spark conversations about mental health, mental wellness, and mental resilience. With every new episode, we will be deep diving into one or more topics that you may or may not have considered, but have an impact directly or indirectly to your well being, not just to survive your day to day at work, but to truly thrive in both your professional and personal lives. I'm so excited to go on this journey with you. So definitely tune in each month because we will be bringing something very special for you. And with that, let's dive into episode one. Joining us today is Gordon Penner from Hub International. Hi, Gordon. Can you please introduce yourself for our listeners today?
Absolutely. And thanks. It's a pleasure to be here. My name's Gordon Penner. I'm from Hub International. I'm a benefits advisor or consultant. I work with Optima Living on the benefits in the EFAP or the Employee Family Assistance Program. And yeah, I look forward to talking about the tools and resources the employees have access to and how to use them.
Thank you, Gordon. And how do you feel about being the first guest on our very first mental resilience podcast?
It's an honor and a privilege. So thank you very much for having me as the first guest.
Thank you so much. We are so excited. Before we move further into discussing about what EFAP is, can you, for our audience, distinguish between what is mental health and what is mental illness?
Mental health and mental illness are vastly different. Mental health would be on a continuum or a spectrum, and a mental illness is a diagnosed condition. So if you think about it, mental illness might be depression, anxiety, ADHD, various different illnesses, whereas your mental health is a spectrum as to whether it's in a state of a good state or it's in a poor state. Staying in a poor state for a long period of time is likely to lead to some form of mental illness or a physical illness. And different aspects of your mental health could be in different states. So you could be in a positive state in some areas like relationships, but you could be in a negative stress state in situations like your finances.
Now that you have explained for our audience the difference between mental illness and mental health, for our listeners who are wondering why are we talking about these subjects, can you put into perspective how EFAP can help with mental health?
Absolutely. The EFAP, or the Employee Family Assistance Program, is a service provided through Homewood Health to the employees at Optima Living at no additional cost. It's provided by Optima Living as the employer.
Mhm.
Employees have access to this program. It provides access to registered clinical counselors at no additional cost. It provides services for life coaching, nutrition counseling, access to cognitive behavior therapy. There's also access to just tools and resources if an employee's not ready to talk to someone and they're just looking at exploring curated resources that the employees can access, again, at no additional cost. How to access the EFAP or the Employee Family Assistance Program, it's available through online through the Equitable Life website, or you can call the 1-800 number. Both options are quick, easy, right at your fingertips, and they're 100% confidential as well. I think if you're not ready to talk to someone, the website route is perfect. You can use the website to just peruse and browse the materials and information that are available to you. And again, it's at no additional cost for any of those services.
Thank you. Uh, for our listeners who are probably wondering why they would need counseling or EFAP services, what would you say? Why is counseling sought after, or why would one want to seek counseling?
I think the reason you'd want to seek counseling, or maybe you don't want to seek counseling necessarily, but you need direction and you need help addressing some areas around your mental health that you don't know how to address and navigate on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Much like if you hurt yourself in physically, you might seek this help and support of a physical therapist or a chiropractor. You might not necessarily want to go to those,
Mm-hmm.
but you go to those practitioners to address that physical injury,
Mm-hmm.
and they give you the tools and resources to recover before it becomes a bigger injury or a bigger ailment on yourself. Just like your mental health, if something is bothering you, seeking help in finding the tools and resources to help you move forward and address those, and give you those tools to before it becomes a bigger problem in your life.
Yeah, and I think like sometimes we just go for a blood work, right? We do our annual blood work. We don't even have anything. It's nothing's bothering us, but we get to do it, and it may show us something's kind of haywire. So perhaps not even wait till we like break a bone to get a X-ray. Maybe just give EFAP a call and see whether there is something that you may need help with. Does that I mean, is that fine as well, or do we have to call and be like, hey, I'm calling for this reason? Or could you just call to talk and maybe understand if there is even a need for me to get a counselor for some purpose?
Yeah, I think you can talk to a counselor for, you can call for any reason, but you can talk to a counselor about even things that you might not think directly around mental health, your children, your spouse, finances, your maybe your parents are getting older and ill, or something happened at work that brought up an old memory that you can't shake, is a great reason to call and talk to someone about some tools and strategies. There's so many things that impact your mental health, even grief, right? I mean, a lot of the employees are around elderly patients
Mm-hmm.
and
Who sometimes
who
pass away,
sometimes
yeah.
pass away, and those can bring up memories of loved ones that might have passed away in their lives,
Mm-hmm.
and it does cause a negative
Mm-hmm.
impact. And a lot of people don't manage grief well,
Mm-hmm.
they just suppress it.
Mm-hmm.
And talking to a counselor can help you find those tools and resources to better manage instead of just pushing it down.
That is so good to know. And you mentioned that you can also call about family and children just as our regular benefits. It also covers our spouse and our children. Does EFAP services cover spouse and children?
Yep, absolutely. So you have additional sessions for your spouse and children. So if your kids are stressed out about something in school or sports, or um, if you and your spouse are getting a divorce, even your kids can talk to someone confidentially and have access to those tools and resources.
Maybe another question that I'm wondering, and perhaps our listeners may also be wondering, how is an EFAP counselor different than somebody seeking a counselor on their own? Like, say I live on a certain street and I have a counselor nearby. Why would I choose to go through a counselor through EFAP or Homewood rather than seeking someone like on Google or through somebody in my neighborhood?
Really good question. Two things. I mean, one, someone in your neighborhood that you trust and you feel comfortable with, that should never necessarily supersede using the EFAP. The EFAP, though, provides free services and discounted services in the future for employees. And oftentimes, the biggest hurdle for an employee who is seeking help is the wait time or finding a counselor that has availability.
Mm-hmm.
There is considered a shortage of counselors available in British Columbia and
Mm-hmm.
Alberta. And if you are in a situation where you need help, calling a whole bunch of phone numbers to see who can see you
Right.
is not a great
Yeah.
place to
Yeah. You'll
be
probably stop.
in, and you might stop.
Yeah.
So calling the EFAP, you're going to see the same qualified counselor.
And you're guaranteed to
Everyone is
find
going
one.
to have a master's level of
Mm-hmm.
counseling or master's of social work. So you're going to have access. and they're going to help you source those individuals.
Hmm.
And the person down the street might not be
Able to take you on,
able to
like you
take you
said.
on,
Yeah, they may have a
or
wait list.
they might not have the specialty of what you're looking for. You
Correct.
might wanting to be talking about grief, and they specialize in marriage counseling.
Got it.
Um, so, or you might be looking to talk about addiction, and they don't specialize in addiction. They specialize in something different.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's needs are going to be
Yes.
different, and the EFAP can help source that out.
And you may need you may have 2 3 different needs, and maybe outside on your own you may have to look then at 2 3 different counselors, and that would be more tedious and more time consuming. Whereas if we went through EFAP, you're like a collection of multiple counselors, and for certain subjects you can speak to one person, and for a few other topics you can talk to another person, but it's like one stop shop essentially.
Yep, exactly. And I think the other part is just counseling's not cheap. It
Yes.
is, it's a free service that is offered through Optima.
Mm-hmm.
So that is
We
another great
definitely want to use that
piece
first.
when there's no
Yes,
cost to it.
100%.
And if you need to continue on for services, once you've used up the sessions that you do have in the EFAP,
Mm-hmm.
you can continue on with that same provider and continuity of care.
Mm-hmm.
And in many situations, we've seen the person down the street is also registered with Homewood.
Oh.
So in
Mm-hmm.
some situations, a counselor will be, everyone is private.
Mm-hmm.
They're not employees of Homewood.
Mm-hmm.
They're on the Homewood
Mm-hmm.
network.
Okay.
So you are going to have, you might be seeing the person down the street potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But now you get to see them for free because it's paid through your employer. Whereas if you went on their door and got an appointment, you may have to pay the fee first.
exactly. And again, if you don't want to see someone in person, there's the avenue of telephonic or
Mm-hmm.
virtual through the EFAP.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're doing that, maybe you don't feel comfortable sitting side by side or across the
Mm-hmm.
room from the counselor. You want to be off camera and just talking to someone because they don't want them to see your face or anything else. You can do that with the EFAP, which you're not going to be able to do in person if it's the person down the road. And sometimes you want to talk to someone in a different province even, because, or a different city, because you might be a community member and you're talking about something very personal that
Mm-hmm.
you don't want shared with, or they're likely not going to share it, but you
Mm-hmm.
don't want the perception of seeing that person in the community
Mm-hmm.
and them knowing what might have been bothering you. And obviously they are professionals, but that
Mm-hmm.
is
Oh yeah,
a
like it's
real
like my
thing.
own perspective that I don't want to talk to anyone in Vancouver, but through this network, I have access to the whole country. Like,
Yep.
oh wow, that's amazing, and it's got counselors, psychologists, psychiatrists, all of those options.
Wouldn't have a psychiatrist. Psychiatrists are something that are paid for by the province
Mm-hmm.
under
So you would have to go through your
MSP.
family doctor for that.
Yeah. Psychologists, there will be occasional psychologists. Normally, there's not many. Most of them are masters of social work or masters of counseling specialists.
All right. So if you're looking for counselors, EFAP is definitely the way to go. If you're looking for psychologists and psychiatrists, we have learned today that perhaps that would be something that we discuss with our family doctors. Coming back to EFAP, when should one seek EFAP?
I think the best time is now. Ultimately, there's never a bad time. Just like the analogy of the physical injury before,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably better to address something that is causing you angst or grief, or stress in your life now before it becomes a much bigger problem.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it's much
Yeah, and
easier
we've
to
all
address
gone
now.
through life, right? Like, I can't think of one person who's probably not experienced death, whether it's, in healthcare, whether it's at work or in our personal lives, or who hasn't gone through any sort of like breakup or fight or uh, just general ups and downs of life. So it doesn't have to be something uh, egregious for why one would seek it. Like, You can just talk about something that you probably experienced way back when, but you probably are ready to talk about now. So is that also something that people can call EFAP for?
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, I don't think there's ever a bad time to call. If there's urgent care, there is an urgent, like if you are
Mm-hmm.
potentially ready to hurt yourself by any means, they'll immediately connect you with a counselor 24/7,
Mm-hmm.
and someone to support you. But ideally, before it gets to that situation, talking to someone can help give you those tools and resources to manage that. So I don't think there's ever a bad time.
Mm-hmm.
The best time is sooner rather than later.
100% agreed. One question that I'm wondering, and I'm sure some of our listeners may also be wondering, is if someone's had like a bad experience with counselors before, or they've, talked to a friend and they've had a bad experience, it might just put them off of counseling. Uh, how do you speak with a person who's had such an experience and sort of tell them that why counseling is for them as well?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. I mean, it's really difficult to get that thought process out of someone's head.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I would say not all counselors are the same by any means. Just like no service provider is all the same. You might call a 1-800 number for your cell phone company and they provide exceptional service, and the next time you call, the person provides terrible service.
Mm-hmm.
It's There will be unfortunate situations, to be honest.
Yeah, and even
Um,
like a family doctor, right? Like sometimes people change family doctors or dentists or, somebody else in their life, like a massage or massage therapist. Like even these serious things that we absolutely seek, we may have a bad experience, but we will still go back to a doctor. So basically, what you're saying is that yeah, you may have had one bad experience with a counselor, but that doesn't mean that counseling is not for you. There's still very good counselors out there, and you can still get the benefits of counseling.
yeah, and I would say call the number again and talk to an intake manager and just explain the situation that there
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a connection, because the reality of counseling is you
Mm-hmm.
are exposing yourself in some intimate details of your
Mm-hmm.
life,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to feel comfortable with that person.
Mm-hmm.
And it might not even be that they did a poor job, but
Mm-hmm.
you might just not feel comfortable at the end of that session, or even halfway through the session with that person. Just voice that concern. um they are professionals, they know that that is going to be the case, and you can look to move forward with a new counselor that you might align better with.
Oh, so what you're saying is that even if someone didn't have a good experience with an EFAP counselor at Homewood, they can still call in and ask for a different counselor and can basically give their feedback.
Yep.
Oh, that's so amazing that they do that. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
So yeah, you're not stuck to one person, and if that's the person that you got
Uh-huh.
and you don't like dealing with them, then you're stuck with them. So it's
Oh, that's good.
yeah.
So, since you work in this line, I just have a last personal question for you. Have you used counseling services for perhaps a personal experience that you've been through? And how was that experience for you? And how did that make a positive impact in your life?
Yeah. I've used the EFAP counselors before in my personal life, for a variety of different things. I mean, there's workplace stress, children, um, managing your family life, and just tools and resources to really. I mean, kids are young. It's a major change in your life
Mm-hmm.
growing up and living just couple for a long time and then having children, your
Mm-hmm.
life changes, and some of those are challenging. When I talked to a counselor as well, I mean, it brought up things around childhood things that not anything negative
Mm-hmm.
necessarily.
Mm-hmm. Just
I
experience,
I
yeah.
grew up playing very competitive sports, and like the competition of winning and everything else has continued in my life, but how to manage those e- emotions so you're not in a very down state and
Mm-hmm.
beating yourself up and turning those into positives and moving forward is something that I've spoken with the counselor about as well. Um, and I think the other part, just to speak to the employees as a takeaway, would
Mm-hmm.
be some of the, like, I shouldn't say some, almost every professional athlete that people look up to and aspire to
Mm-hmm.
be work with some form of coach,
Athletes,
and
CEOs,
and that coach
everyone.
is likely a counselor or a
Mm-hmm.
psychologist. CEOs, business owners, most executives work with some form of they call themselves often executive coaches, but they
Mm-hmm.
are counselors,
Counselors.
and they are specialists in those, in managing stress and managing relationships because
Just helping you navigate life. Yeah.
yeah, it
So basically,
changes.
it's just like any change, whether it's careers, whether it's like loss, whether it's children, whether it's relationship, we just have this awesome service at our disposal to just call, find a third person, help us navigate this, is essentially what EFAP is. Thank you, Gordon, for joining us today. I think that was such an insightful episode and such an amazing service that is available to all of us at Optima Living. To our listeners, if you have made it this far, I assume you have enjoyed today's episode. I look forward to meeting you all in all of our future episodes. In the meantime, if I can request you, please subscribe to this channel. Please follow, please like, please share, please engage in the comments with us and with each other about what tools and what topics perhaps you would like to discuss more about. And with that, this is Simran Sandhu, your host, signing off. See you.